crack a rip around here. Who's mighty the store? Shake it up, sell some beer. What's your money make it for? Payday, the back in the bin. Six gun, Annie and Buffalo Chill. But who's to say they'll be back again for a refill? Honey, you know the drill. Ain't no left turn down a slippery down street. You gotta be fast, but you gotta stay loose. Thinking on your feet, slick as grass and through a goose. We gotta rationalize. The payroll is giving me chills. You and me is getting organized. This kid will be killed. Honey, you know the drill. They can all look down on the sucker road, but they all forget the tallest trees from acorns grow. Or ain't it yet? I never look down on the sucker state. They all pay the bills. I never gave a sucker an evening break, and I never will. Sucker Row is pretty similar to a song for Sonny Liston because of the usage of this fifth pentatonic position. As I discussed in my Song for Sonny Liston video, analyzing songs like this is extremely hard. It is so Knopfler that it's nearly impossible, if not impossible, to copy. But who cares? We're here to play the song, not to replicate it exactly. What I found is the first urge with this riff is to play sort of higher strings, focusing on 5th and 4th string. But if you listen very closely, you can hear like almost inaudible slight plucks on the muted 6th string. So when I switch my focus on one string lower and start to think about the 6th string, suddenly it sounds a whole lot more natural and like on the record. The first thing they need to establish is the fact that the riff is built around this rhythm. Notice downstrokes on every off beat, 2nd and 4th beat. From there, the A power chord gets combined with the melody. Now, interesting thing happens. In typical MK style, the riff goes in this phase: downstrokes, upstroke, pull off, upstroke, thumb, pull off, downstroke. Mark uses that all the time, but remember what I said about switching focus. Now, the interesting thing happens when I switch most of the notes in this little phrase down one string. But I leave this pull off on the 4th string. It creates this interesting sound. But it lacks something and kinda awkward to play, to be honest with you. So the last thing to do, at least that's what I would do, because nobody except for Knopfler knows how to play it. But given the song is so old, even he probably doesn't know it by now. But anyway, what finally makes me fall in love with this riff is the addition of this ghost muted note I talked about in the beginning. So that's only one little ghost note that turns the whole riff upside down in terms of enjoyability, quality of sound, and quality of the recording. So the ghost note goes right around the first beat, where the melody on top kicks in, like this. I love this ghost note because it makes this riff more steady, easier to play with the right hand. Instead of floating around, it now knows exactly what to do. More than that, it adds just a little bit of this percussion feeling. Again, just a little bit, but enough to make it more interesting, because essentially this is a blues riff, so it must have this groove built in it. The same thing is true for Song for Sonny Liston, this song's closest sibling. Now, too much talking about a couple of ghost notes and downstrokes, so what's next? Second part of the riff adds two bass notes. And notice that's just two notes. At first I wanted to play it like this, with two bass notes, just like in the first half. But I realized that the riff sounds cooler with two uninterrupted bass notes. However, if one wants to continue the pattern, it is possible to continue the pattern adding one more ghost note here. On the 5th string, but it's not necessary at all. Then repeat the first half of the riff. But for ending, Mark uses this cool phrase. The right hand pattern stays the same, but play it on muted 6th string now, going to heavy vibrato on the 3rd fret here. Why the 6th string and not the 5th? Because I believe it gives more punch. The 6th string is heavier anyway, so it yields a thicker sound. And what I like the most about this ending is that if you play it with the 2 and 4 downstroke accents, as I showed already, then this steady rhythm breaks on this vibrato. It gives this feeling of relief and really wants to continue. So much so the song ends with just this riff going in a loop right to the last beat, and it deserves it. What a great riff. I wish I could play it even better, but I think that's enough to care about. As they say, I would write a song about it, and Mark did. Yeah, there's also a whole song. I'm not going to extreme details like the riff, but the verse starts like it. And on the second phrase, I like to switch to the standard strumming and picking. A minor, F G in the bass, D with an F sharp in the bass, now D minor with F, G, now I love this transition here, D minor, A minor, G, I like to proceed with this 16th note, strumming, alternating with regular, eighth note strumming, goes between F major and C major. What did I say in the beginning? This song is hard? The song is extremely hard. No wonder Mark never played it live on the radio. Everything here, finger picking, hardcore riffs, alternating strumming patterns, all thrown into one underrated song. For the middle 8, I have another idea for you. Instead of going just like G7 to C major all the time, what about this? What I did there was I altered between G7, C and regular G to create this melody within the middle 8. That little change makes the song ever so more interesting, but little details are a kind of a theme of my channel, so I like the sound more than just going C to G all the time. Long video we have here, but I hope it was worth it. I really enjoyed making this and sharing it with you. Sucker Row may be an underrated masterpiece, but it's a joy trying to play it properly.